Hello and welcome back to Coffee on Korriban. It has been 3 weeks since I last did a live stream. Took a little bit of a personal break. It was my birthday, some other stuff going on, and I thought it would be about time to just kind of let the YouTube stuff sit a little bit. But the Andor trailer came out this morning. I just watched it about 5 minutes ago. Not even joking. My reaction will be coming out in a little bit, but we're going to have a discussion tonight all about Andor and the new trailer, breaking it down. My guest has not even seen the trailer yet, so we're going to get his reaction to that, and we're going to talk. I didn't have an intro video, so I'm just going to play the favorite clip, a lot of people's favorite clip, and we'll introduce our guest. I'm going to punch him right in the clothing.
I got yeeted!
And that is just
always
the best clip that is ever in existence. I love that thing so much.
It is.
But anyway, Master Paul. Are you still Master Paul or just
Nope.
Paul?
Just Paul.
Oh, well, you're still a master in my eyes.
I appreciate that.
Paul of Fandomology. And I think this might be the first time I've had you on my channel since you changed channel
it's
names.
second, actually.
Oh, okay. Well,
It is the first time you've had me on here, though.
without
Buzzcut.
a lot of hair. That's right.
Yes.
Anyway, you have not seen Andor, the trailer, right?
No, I have not.
Okay.
And being perfectly honest, I really wasn't even planning on watching it because as we were talking about before the stream, you and I pretty much right now are on the polar opposite ends of the spectrum as far as our hype currently for Disney Star Wars. You, of course, liked Kenobi. I did not. You were very much hyped for Andor. I honestly never was, even before the stuff happened with Kenobi that I disagree with. So, but you know what? You invited me. I'm willing to give it a chance. So let's do it.
Yeah. And that's kind of a reason why I invited you on, is I wanted to get two perspectives on this trailer specifically, from someone who is not very hyped up on Star Wars, it kind of in general right now. There's always going to be the love for the old stuff. But the new stuff coming out, there's just not really any enthusiasm. And I think you represent a lot of people that Kenobi was kind of make or break from them, and it just didn't land as well as it should have for those people in their own opinions. And maybe you are not even interested in Star Wars at all, the new stuff coming out. So that'd be nice to get your reaction to the trailer from that perspective. But then my perspective, a lot of people probably already know I'm hyped for Andor, and not because I think Disney is going to give us good Star Wars, but because of the potential that this show can offer. That's what I'm hyped for. I've said multiple times, the thing that excites me the most about Star Wars and about the Star Wars universe is the world building. I think we're going to get a lot of that, and especially the information about how the rebellion got established. How did it get started? What were the inner workings of the political sides of the rebellion? That's really interesting to me, more so than a good TV show with cool action and good characters. That stuff is all secondary for me. I want to know what's going on in the Star Wars universe in this time period. And I think this show is going to deliver, but we're going to get into it. We're going to watch the trailer. And,
one thing I want to mention, though, before we do, and I feel like this is extremely important to mention, don't let either one of our opinions change your opinion.
Yes.
Like, don't believe what we believe just because we believe it. I'm not here to change anyone's mind and say don't support it. And, you know, I'm sure you're not here to change anyone's mind and say, you know, support it because I support it. Formulate your own opinion from this. That's what I want to do. I'm going into this trailer completely blind, knowing nothing about it. I'm a blank slate, and I'm gonna give my full, honest opinions on it. But you make your own opinions.
Exactly, and that's kind of what I was feeling about with Kenobi. Is I really wanted to stay offline. I really wanted to stay offline for the majority of Kenobi during the run. I wanted to have my own opinions and not really get swayed by what other people are saying about it. And of course, there's always the argument of like, oh, well, if they're your opinions, why do you care what other people say? Like, you must not have been very solid in how you felt about it if you're going to get persuaded by other people. But there is a, as far as like positive and negative, you see things different based on what other people, especially friends, think about it. So for everyone watching, please have your own opinions of this trailer. And whether you're excited for this or not, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Forgot to say hello to people. We got Jake76 in the chat. We also got Don in the chat. Good to see you guys. Don says 200 plus named characters. I don't know. Is that an official thing that they've released? Because if so, that's cool.
200 plus named characters.
That's cool.
That is honestly, like, that's movie level stuff right there.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know any details about even like the release date or the runtime or the number of episodes. I don't have any of that. I'm going off what I saw in the trailer. So I don't know if that 200 is official or whatever, but that would be really cool if it is. Jake76 says, do you think we could see another large scale battle like the Battle of Scarif? I think so.
Maybe.
I think so. And it's made by the same people that made Rogue One, I believe. I don't know which people specifically, but that's what I've heard. So I definitely think that there can be a large scale battle. And definitely, one-on-one type fighting, like person on person, as opposed to just battleships and stuff. I think we're going to get a lot more of that actual war in Star Wars than just laser battles in space, which is really awesome. I'm looking forward to that. Speaking of looking forward to, Israel says it has a heist kind of vibe and it feels fresh. A genuinely new Star Wars story is a wonderful thing. And with that, let's get into watching the trailer. Let me get this pulled up. And I guess you kind of touched on it already, but initial thoughts before you watch this trailer about the show as a whole.
Even before, the shows that we've recently gotten have hurt my opinion of Disney Star Wars. Andor was something that I really was not interested in to begin with, because I am someone, again, kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum from you. I'm someone that is all about the action, specifically lightsaber action. Now, let me say this right off the bat. We could very well get that in this show. We don't know. But admittedly, when I first heard about this show, I was like, really? They're giving that guy from Rogue One a spin-off show? Why not do it for someone else, like, I don't know, literally anyone with a lightsaber?
Right.
But
and I'll admit, I did feel the same way when they did that big presentation about 2 years ago with all the shows, and we got like 20 billion shows announced all at the same time. And I saw Andor there and I was like, he wasn't even really my favorite character from Rogue One. Why are we getting a show about him?
He wasn't.
And this is before we knew Kenobi was coming out. And I thought, why don't we get a Kenobi show? Why don't we get a Vader show? Like all these other people that would be so much more interesting than Andor. But the more I've been thinking about it, the more I realize Andor is sort of the vessel for the information, the world building that we're going to get in this story. And if it starts out as like how he joined the rebellion, I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. Like if we get that, his backstory, cool. But I want to know how the rebellion started. I want to know the details about how everything came into place to be the rebellion that we see in A New Hope. So Andor to me and what I'm expecting is more than just Cassian Andor show, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But with that out in the open, let me pull up the trailer, and I'm gonna probably have to pause it a couple times just to avoid copyright stuff. I don't want to get anywhere close to that. If that is framed right, we will get into it, and then we'll go through and break it down later, I guess.
That is totally an AK-47.
Yep, I said that as well in my reaction.
It's weird. That almost looks like Middle Earth, like the setting in New Zealand.
Mm-hmm.
You just walk in like you belong. They're so proud of themselves.
All right, that's cool.
So fat and sad.
The shot of the Senate chamber.
Yes, that's cool. I like that.
And I don't remember if it was my stream or someone else's someone in the chat said that they bet that we get some of the Senate building. Well, there we go. Confirmed.
Mm-hmm.
It's fine. They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house. Cassian Andor. The Empire is choking us so slowly.
Interesting that they're still using stormtroopers.
What I'm asking is this.
What do you mean?
I saw in one shot that they're using the Death Troopers that we saw in Rogue One, but at the same time, there's the guys, they're still wearing the Phase 2 clone trooper armor. I might have said stormtroopers, but meant to say clone troopers.
Oh, clone trooper. I got you.
It's just it's interesting that they're still using those.
And that could be a shot from pre-Empire that we're getting. We don't even know when this series starts. All we know,
right?
I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old. I would imagine he would be maybe about like 12 to 14 in those opening shots, assuming that's him.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know how far back this series stretches,
right?
Especially if we get anything about the pre-establishing of the Empire, like we got in, or the rebellion rather, like we got in Revenge of the Sith with Padme, Mon Mothma, Bail Organa, like their kind of secret meetings. Like we could get some of that. We don't know, but we'll continue.
We know for sure though that whatever scene, whenever that took place, that obviously took place before chapter 15 of Bad Batch, when it's official that they completely scrap all the clone troopers. Correct.
Yep. So that's either a flashback or the series starts somewhere before they did away with that, like we saw in the Bad Batch. All right, let's keep going here.
Wouldn't you rather give it all to something real? I need all the heroes I can get. For the greater good. Call it what you will. Let's call it war.
Saw Gerrera.
Yep, we got Saw Gerrera. I noticed that as well during my reaction. I'm excited to see him again. He looks a little younger than he did in Rogue One.
Yeah.
So we might even see how he loses his legs. Even
we might. And I'm gonna say this too. I bet this show also takes place at least after Jedi Fallen Order, because he didn't have hair in Jedi Fallen Order. And I believe they also showed Saw Gerrera in Rebels too.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't remember whether or not that was the old decrepit Saw Gerrera or the one that was still young.
That was the one that they were they fighting the droids that thought that the droid war was still going on? The Clone Wars? They were still fighting for the Separatists?
I really haven't seen Rebels beyond halfway through season 2.
Okay. I think there was an episode of Rebels where they stumbled upon these battle droids that thought the war was still going on. And I think that's the episode that they met up with Saw. Unless someone in chat can correct me. But let's keep going through this trailer. And again, people, I'm pausing so I don't get any copyright stuff.
That looked like Sam Witwer.
You're in my net. Are you a fish? Or are you a thief? You're slipping. I'm not slipping. I've just been hiding for too long.
All right. So what do you think? I forget what that guy's name is. What do you think about him playing dress up, I guess, and pretending to be someone is what it looks like?
I haven't seen enough really to say what I think. Okay. I need to see more.
All right, let's get these comments real quick to, again, avoid the copyright stuff. Jake says, I believe that was a flashback because he was a separatist and apparently the Republic were coming to his planet during Order 66. That would be really cool if we saw Order 66 from his perspective on his home planet from the perspective of a separatist, that would be really cool. I feel. Because we've only seen Order 66 from the perspective of the Jedi. We haven't seen that from a world that's being torn apart by the war.
Right. The closest thing that we saw
interesting.
to that, again, was in the Bad Batch with Ryloth.
Yep. There was that one separatist planet as well.
Yeah.
That they were on. Again, I'll have to go back and watch Bad Batch, but I kind of want more Star Wars stories that don't have Force sensitives. I love the world of Star Wars, and the vast majority of people in that world can't use the Force. They have stories too. We are on the exact same wavelength with that comment. It goes back to what I was saying earlier. Actually, I didn't even say that. It was in my reaction to the Andor trailer that I said it. This has a really good opportunity for them because they don't have any established characters, and it's not immediately apparent that it's going to be lightsabers and wizard powers and stuff like that. So they have an opportunity to tell a new story with just a few somewhat familiar faces. But that's good for a couple reasons. They're not going to mess anything up with the Force as far as like, oh, you can't do that. That's not what the Jedi learned. And also they can't mess up Luke or Boba Fett or Obi-Wan Kenobi. They can't mess up these established characters because it's all going to be new.
I hope so.
Yeah. Yeah, they showed him in Rebels and he was younger, and that droid episode of Rebels is a different one. The one with him is when they're on Geonosis. Yes. I think so. Yes, not all of us need Jedi and Sith in every chapter. We loved season 1 of Mando for that very reason. It was the common man. Yep, just what do normal people do in this world? Would you want to see Larry the Cable Guy in Star Wars? I don't think so. I don't think so. Just doesn't fit. I think aside from like the cowboy tropes and the sort of Western vibes that we get in the original trilogy, I don't want American country stuff.
Yeah,
in Star Wars.
I don't want to be rolling down the streets of Coruscant and be like, "Hey, buddy, I got a new spear to sell you or something."
Yeehaw, brother! Why don't you take a look at my spurs? They got built-in death sticks. And I know I live in Tennessee, but I'm not very country at all. No desire to
I
be.
was born in Virginia, and I'm not very country.
Right. All right, let's keep going, get through the rest of this, and then we might go back and break it down.
As long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
This is what
Interesting droid design.
Yeah, there's a lot in that trailer.
Yeah.
And a 3-episode premiere. All right, so initial thoughts to watching the full trailer in its entirety. What are you thinking?
There are things that I like. For example, seeing the Senate building, seeing the clone troopers, and honestly seeing, Andor doing his job.
Mm-hmm.
But right now, where I am with all of Disney Star Wars, I'm completely shielding myself from even close to getting hyped.
Right.
I've been
completely
hurt.
understandable.
I've been hurt too many times.
And my goal is not to persuade you that you have to be hyped about this show, because I'm not going to even try that.
Right.
I'm hyped about it based off what I see in the trailer and the teaser that we got a couple weeks ago, or 2 months ago, I think it was. I'm really excited for it. So I hope a lot of other people are as well. But I wanted to bring you on tonight to get your perspective on someone who's pretty much not invested in Star Wars currently.
And let me make this clear too. I don't want to feel like this. I do genuinely want to be excited for all of this stuff, but I just can't.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree. So I think let's go back and pick out a couple details that we thought. First, being something that neither of us like.
Pause
I
right
can
here.
tell.
Pause right here. That right there is what I'm talking about, where I say it looks like Middle Earth.
Mhm.
Like that in the background looks like the Pass a Carrot House, where
Yep.
they're camping out and the birds fly over them.
Legolas, what do your elf eyes see?
Yes.
Yep. This type of intro shot for this commercial right here for the trailer reminds me so much of Rogue One, of the beginning of Rogue One. Just something about it with the fog, and there's a lot of space. Like we see a lot of Star Wars planets with dense jungles and rock formations and that sort of stuff. But seeing something out in the open like this, like more like Middle Earth, it reminds me of that opening shot of Rogue One, which I forget what planet that was on. But you can see ships approaching from really far away. It's just a different vibe, and I really like it. Now, something that neither of us like, right there.
Hold on. I do like it because I do like AKs.
Okay, so I'll grant you that. I'll grant you that.
Yeah, okay, I get it that George Lucas in the original trilogy based a lot of his gun designs off real life guns. For example,
which I'm totally fine with.
Han Solo's iconic handgun is a Mauser handgun.
Mm-hmm.
But he changed it enough to make it look like it was from another world. I don't see that same effort here.
If I had just come onto your stream before you watched this trailer and showed you this screenshot right here,
mm-hmm.
What would you think it was from?
Vietnam.
Exactly. So some kind of maybe a war movie or like a fan film where they just grabbed whatever airsoft guns they had in their closet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Dawn says slug throwers for the common people. I get it.
I could see that.
But it's an AK.
It is.
It's and a poorly dressed AK.
They could have put a little bit more effort into making it look not like it's literally not of this world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's too AK. It's not dressed up enough. And it might be once we get 4K on the TV, we might look at it and see that they changed enough stuff to make it look palatable, but it's an AK. And there's the one sniper rifle that the the stormtroopers used in episode 4. I forget what it's called, but it's a really big long one that is just like the real life version of it and barely changed at all. And I've seen side by sides and it's like, wow, George Lucas didn't change anything for that one. But the difference is that other rifle is not very well known. It was like a weird specialty anti.
If you can find it, send me a link.
I will. It might be something I have to find later, but I'll send it to you. But they look almost identical. The one that was in A New Hope and the one in real life, they look almost identical. They didn't really change all that much, but the AK is such a recognizable weapon design. Mm-hmm. It is so more so than an AR, because AR just looks like every military rifle.
Exactly.
For the most part. But AKs are very recognizable. I think they could have done a little bit more to dress this one up. But that's Disney. So that would be my biggest complaint about this trailer is just, guys, come on, just do a little bit more. A little bit more.
Yeah.
All right, we got her looking up. I love this shot right here.
The shot of the Star Destroyer flying over.
This is terrifying.
I'm willing to guess this is them seeing the Empire for the first time. Like this is well after any remnants of the old Republic are gone. We're now fully the Empire in every single way that we know, and they're seeing it for the first time.
Could be. Yeah, because there's that line, Matt Cave was telling me about this earlier, the line that says the Empire is squeezing so slowly that we're only just now noticing or something like that. We'll pick it apart when we get to it, but I just love this shot. It gives you a scale for how big these things are and puts it in realistic terms, because we always see these ships out in space or hovering over a city maybe, but when it's moving like this up over the mountains, you get the perspective of what a person on the ground sees, and it's just terrifying.
Mm-hmm.
All right, keep progressing forwards. You think this is Kessel?
Wherever that is obviously strip mining.
Mm-hmm.
And another thing this is kind of reminding me of
You see the Earth
too.
movers way down here.
Yeah. Okay, so remind me, when it first came out, were you watching Star Wars Visions?
I think I saw all but the last episode. There's one I still haven't seen.
Do you remember the one with the rabbit girl?
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much the plot of that particular episode, is a family's disagreeing politically about the Empire coming onto their planet and strip mining it.
I wonder if they took inspiration from that.
I wonder.
There was also the one where the guy made the lightsabers, the one that the lightsabers changed color.
Yes.
That one had mining in it. They were mining for the crystals at the beginning of that one, I believe.
I can't remember.
Or something along those lines. Close enough.
I can't.
To steal from the Empire?
All right, so are we settled that this is a young Cassian Andor?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
You just walk in like you belong.
I wanted to make sure I wasn't off.
They're so proud.
All right, so that's cool. That's cool.
Yes, this is
especially
is really cool.
the spotlight coming down onto the one hover disc. I think it's cool.
Oh, and real quick, look in the center of the room, like that there it is, the Empire signal, and I don't remember that being there in the prequels, or maybe it was, but I didn't notice.
That would be good to go back and look at. I didn't notice it before.
And I do just a funny point. If this does indeed take place after Revenge of the Sith, they did a heck of a job cleaning up after Yoda and Palpatine trashed that place.
Yes. Yep.
And they're probably like, hey, what do we do with this random miniature cloak that was found hanging from the chair?
So I'm hoping, and we saw a couple shots of different Imperial officers. I'm hoping we get to see kind of the inner workings of the Empire. That would be really cool, I think, to see.
Yeah, like how the military hierarchy goes and such.
Yep, exactly.
Someone like me.
Okay, so this is a young Cassian. He's obviously older than 6 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I would assume this is Imperial. So whether he's infiltrating or maybe he snuck onto... Ooh, what about this? He was climbing into that shaft earlier in the trailer.
Yeah.
What if this is when the Empire first showed up on his planet and he's sneaking into the ship to see what's going on? And now he's realizing what the Empire is up to, and he decides, like, I gotta help fight against them, or I don't know.
I can see that, definitely.
But it's probably he snuck inside some Imperial ship or shuttle or something.
Right. And he's
I'm
betting he's gonna get caught too. He's gonna get interrogated. Hey, what are you doing here, kid? And something aside from him seeing that, because I don't think him seeing that alone is really going to connect the dots that these are the bad guys, although it will help.
Right.
But something's going to happen where he's going to come across the wrong guy. He's going to interrogate him, and that's when he realizes, oh crap, these are the bad guys.
Right. And it's I'm really anxious to see what the Separatist perspective on this will be, because we know how the people that were loyal to the Republic felt. They like, we won the war, but now it got taken over by the Empire, the awful dictatorship.
Literally. So this is how liberty dies.
Right. But how do the Separatists feel about that? They lost the war.
Mm-hmm.
And now the winning side, the ones they just got beaten by, are completely taking over the galaxy. Like, how does it look from that perspective? That is interesting to me. Again, the world building and what is actually happening is more important to me than the actual TV show itself.
I would bet there's going to be some characters that are from that Separatist side. They're being like, this is why we were fighting you guys from the beginning. Because there's been many people, and my friend Nate, who you've met, he's one of them, that said that by the time that Order 66 happened and the Empire was declared, the Republic pretty much already was the Empire in practice. The only difference is
just not in name.
just not a name, and they had the Jedi fighting for them unknowingly as their pawns.
Right. Yeah, a lot of systems were patrolled by clones.
Mm-hmm.
And to the average person, what's the difference between a clone and a stormtrooper?
Or a clone
Nothing.
and a droid.
Or yeah, exactly. That's a really good point. And so to the separatist, maybe that's why he said I've been in this fight since I was 6 years old, because maybe that was before the Empire was established. I would assume so, but he was fighting against the Republic. Maybe he was a separatist from a very young age, and to him, it's all the same enemy.
Which makes sense then why we saw clone troopers in this trailer.
Mm-hmm. Yep, because even if it's the Republic coming to keep the peace, we're keepers of the peace, not soldiers.
Mm-hmm.
Those are still hostiles invading your home planet.
Yeah.
I think a lot of pieces are falling into place, and
They
I'm
are.
excited for it.
I can't lie. The more we dive into this, I'm actually starting to get excited.
Mm-hmm.
Cautiously, extremely cautiously, but
keep your caution. Keep
Yeah,
your caution by all
but
means.
still, the more I'm thinking about this in my head, the more it's starting to click.
Well, and the reason why I think I had a better time with especially Book of Boba Fett and The Bad Batch and Kenobi than most people is because I wasn't in it for a good TV show. I wasn't in it for the action or even the character development. I'm in for it for the world building. And I felt like those shows did a really good job, even Book of Boba Fett. Whereas a lot of other people are focused on kind of the big picture of how does the show deliver to me as a fan.
Mm-hmm. And at least with me personally also, still, in the back of my mind, the rumors of a possible retcon of a certain trilogy that at this point we've all accepted is not going to happen.
Mm-hmm. The common separatist was completely justified in the war. Unfortunately, the Confederacy of Independent Systems was also led by corrupt, evil people that were never going to let good separatists get the rights they deserved.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good angle to remember on that as well. I think there's a lot of pieces in place for Andor, and I don't see how they can really mess it up in the same way that a lot of people feel Kenobi was messed up. So,
well, there is a way. There is a way. Not by messing up certain characters, but by messing up what comes after this in regards to the original trilogy.
I think they would have to go pretty out of the way to do that bad enough.
Well, this is Twitter, so keep that in mind. But apparently there was a quote that was going around on Twitter where one of the show's creators, Tony Gilroy, is saying that it would, quote, change canon. Now, what that means, I don't know. Like I said, I tried to block out everything about this show that I could up until now, so I didn't look at it.
So if there's validity to that is concerning. Anytime you're changing canon, you're going to upset some people, no matter how slight the change or how unimportant the thing was that was changed. Even when you slightly bend our understanding of canon, like they did in Kenobi, just not change it or contradict themselves. But when you bend the certain people's understandings of certain things, people get upset. So that is a little bit concerning, but we'll see. All right, let's keep going here.
Would ever get inside their house.
So obviously he's infiltrating them from the creators of Wogun. That's good. I don't know what that guy's name is.
The actor's name is Bill Skarsgard.
Okay, that's right. Every time I see his face, I picture him running around in his underwear from Thor, whatever, the Dark World.
The Dark World, yes.
Yeah. Anyway, these are definitely clones.
Yes.
Interesting
also that they aren't painted in their units, which makes me think that this takes place after Order 66. Because after Order 66,
are we sure these are Phase 2 clone helmets and not those
yes,
Gen 1 stormtroopers?
Even blurry, I can tell that those are Phase 2 clones.
Okay.
But Remember in Bad Batch, immediately after Order 66 came about, but before the Stormtroopers came about,
Mhm.
all clones except Hauser got rid of all their paint.
Mm.
And they pretty much acted like Stormtroopers, except you could tell by the voice they were still clones.
They uniformed him.
So what if we're in that phase of the Empire?
Which was pretty short-lived.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they started pumping out those stormtroopers pretty quick.
Yeah.
The Ralph McQuarrie designed stormtroopers, the Phase 1 stormtrooper armor, I thought was really cool looking.
Yeah.
Because I think that's... You can't see them. They're down here. You can't even see them, but they're down there. They're... let's see. Can you see them?
It's too blurry.
Barely.
Yeah, just barely. I can see that.
That's them. Whatever. All right. Let us keep going. So those are definitely Phase 2s.
So slowly.
Who is that?
Okay, stop.
Death Troopers.
Look behind the Death Troopers. Now we have Stormtroopers.
Yep.
So here's what I think's going on. When we saw those clone troopers, I'm going to guess that is when Cassian is a kid, maybe just after the Empire has been declared.
Mm-hmm.
Here, he's an adult. They're on Stormtroopers. Like I said, they're the Empire in every way visually that we know. And now he's an adult. So I think we're going to get two different points in time with this story.
Yeah. and I think we're going to focus more on the establishment of the rebellion than on just Cassian Andor's personal experiences.
Mm-hmm.
That would be wasted opportunity if that was. He's not that interesting of a character.
And one thing that I personally would like to see in this show is go into more detail what separates the Death Troopers from the normal Stormtroopers. How are they made? How are they trained? Why do they sound the way that they do?
You know what's funny? That's a really good point. But you know what's funny?
We already have it.
We've gotten you in 38 minutes. We've gotten you from, honestly, I don't really care about any of this to just a few seconds ago, you said, quote, what I would like to see out of this show. We're making progress.
Yeah. I'm not trying hard enough to be negative.
I know. I do want to say one thing that does bother me a little bit. This Death Trooper we have on the left. Mm-hmm. Aren't you a little short to be a Death Trooper? Because aren't Death Troopers supposed to be like 6'4" and up?
Something like that.
I think.
And this Death Trooper looks slightly shorter. This could be perspective because it's behind her. But he looks shorter than the woman.
Mm-hmm. Unless she's really tall. But all I know is I would not qualify as a Death Trooper.
Can confirm.
Apparently, I'm shorter than I look on camera. Matt Cave thought I was over 6 foot. And that's not true. That's definitely not true. Yeah, so we got Stormtroopers in the back, Death Troopers. This one's a little short, or she's super tall, and this guy's really tall. I don't know.
We're starting not to notice. What I'm asking is that.
Now that, if I can go back just a second. Baraka, is that the
yes.
The ship graveyard planet?
Yes.
Do we think that's that? Sure looks like it.
No, I don't think so, because there would be way more ships around than just that. Now, Baraka could have been not the only place where ships like that were getting scrapped.
Right. There's 100 of every planet.
This could be something new, but I don't think this is Baraka.
Okay.
What I'm asking is this. Wouldn't you rather give it all to something real? I mean,
that was a cool ship design. I don't know if I've seen that before. What ship is that? I like it.
It almost looks like an Inquisitor ship, but I can't tell. because part of it's because we're seeing it at a
Yeah.
weird angle, and part of it's obscured by the rock.
Can I just say though, the design of that ship is so Star Wars.
It is.
Like it doesn't feel out of place like some other ships I've seen. Like this feels like it takes place in Star Wars, and if we
Specifically,
at
specifically the original trilogy era.
yes, I mean the dome around the cockpit is a blend of TIE Fighter and Millennium Falcon, so that fits. That circle up over on the side. Are you able to see my mouse while I'm doing this? Okay, perfect. This little circle right here looks like Millennium Falcon. This whole line down here looks like Star Destroyer, and all the little bits and pieces in there feel like Star Wars with a little bit of like copper color in here. The design feels correct. Does that make sense?
It does.
You know what I'm saying? It just feels right.
It does. Although I am curious what the weird flap along the top
very
that's for.
Corellian. Let's see. Weird flap.
Like literally right over where the guy is coming out of.
Oh, this like wing thing?
That looks like weirdly placed.
Maybe, but it could like curve closed as it's flying or something, and it raises up to lower the ramp. I don't know. The aesthetics of it is really nice.
It is, and like I said, we're only seeing it from a certain angle. I'm sure there's. Oh, it does move. Okay, I saw it.
Did it move?
Yes.
All right, let's play that one more time.
Something real.
It says it's.
Yep,
there
it does.
Was. Okay.
Excellent. It does move. Can confirm. This is my apprentice, Darth Maul.
I found him with his pants
All
down
right.
in an MCU movie.
This is Saw Gerrera's guy, right?
Yes. And it looks like he's carrying a Tusken Raiders rifle.
It sure does.
Hold on. Look down there on the floor below him. That's
there's an X-wing. Yep, there's an X-wing right there. Let's see. I don't see any gonk droids.
I am curious when the X-wing was first invented, because the closest thing to an X-wing that we ever saw in the prequel trilogy was that one six-winged thing that the clones would sometimes fly.
Did the X-wing? When were the X-wings invented? Let's see what Google says. Wikipedia, maybe? They were used in the Battle of Yavin. That doesn't help me.
Well, if we don't have any concrete information on when X-wings were invented, as you said, what started the rebellion, that could be something we see.
The X-wing was descended from Incom Corporation's Clone Wars era fighter, the Aggressive Reconnaissance 170 starfighter, which might be the one with the foils that split out. Yeah. Does that sound about right? The 170? The clone Headhunter and the Z95 Headhunter. Incom's engineers strove to build a well-rounded hyperdrive-equipped snub fighter with no exploitable weaknesses. The new starfighter was intended to become the backbone of the Imperial Navy. Both political forces led to the Galactic Empire deciding to rely on Cinar fleet systems' more affordable TIE line. Oh, so the TIE fighters beat out for the bid for the Imperial ships. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that. So apparently they were competing, the two companies, in Incom or whatever it was called, and the other one, and the TIE fighters were cheaper. So the Empire went with the TIE fighters. That's very interesting.
Which sounds about right, given the fact that the Empire opted to go with the Stormtroopers instead of continuing to train the more expensive clones.
Yep. But as far as when they were first developed, yeah, I don't have anything on that. Wikipedia doesn't have any.
Well, like I said, we could see that could very well be the first X-wing right there. We don't know.
Watch, we're gonna get an entire episode on the two companies bidding for the Imperial contract. And then the X-Wing company is going to be like, you know what? They didn't go with our design. We're going to give them to the rebels. Maybe they're going to buy our ships.
It could happen.
A full episode on just the auction house for who is going to win the design. All right, we got some training. We got Saw Gerrera. He looks
I don't
younger.
remember him having that scar across his face.
Did he in Rogue One?
I don't think so.
Saw Gerrera.
I know for a fact he didn't have it across his face in Jedi Fallen Order.
I am looking in let me compare side by side. It's there.
Oh.
It's not as noticeable in Rogue One because he's older. I would imagine it had faded a little bit.
Okay.
But it is there.
Fair enough.
I would hope that they wouldn't miss something like that. We got riot
Okay.
shields.
That's interesting that they chose to do that. It's interesting that they chose to do the whole riot police thing. And
I will
that
say
is-
the goggles look like stormtrooper helmets.
they do. And that's the same type of armor that Han Solo wore the brief amount of time that he was part of the Empire. But at the
Mhm.
same time, this more so than the AK to me looks too close to what we see in real life.
Yeah, it looks like they're about to take on some Antifa.
Exactly.
Unless these are like recruits and they're just on like patrol duty, like they're not actual stormtroopers, but they're just, I don't know,
Yeah.
keepers of the peace, not soldiers. I like that guy just like ramming his shoulder in.
Hey, like you said, facing Antifa.
Yep, this looks beautiful. I love it.
Like I
Whitwer?
said, that looks like Sam Witwer so much. Maybe it could be Starkiller.
It might be. There's Andor, this guy. Pockets are fermenting. There's some guys fixing stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love this shot. Something about this with
That,
the elevators coming down. I love it. It was in the teaser
I
that
wonder
came
if
out
that
2 months ago.
what if that's going down to 1313?
Ooh, could be. Very, very likely. All I know is it gives me the good feels.
And there is this guy right here.
Mm-hmm. Lambda class shuttle, one of my favorite ships in Star Wars. Just looks so nice.
Yeah,
On probably that same planet we saw earlier, maybe a different shipyard planet.
could be. And right next to it, there's the same ship that the Rebels steal in Rogue One that actually
Mhm.
gets the name of Rogue One.
You are correct. There's the lady again.
Mm-hmm. She's probably going to be the stand-in, at least for this season, for Director Krennic, I bet.
Possibly. Wait, did we see what insignia she has? What her rank is? Didn't
I
see it
can't
in
tell
that.
what Imperial ranks
Oh,
are.
she's got 3.
3 blue squares.
Yeah. Let me look it up.
The guy behind her has 2, I can tell.
Imperial rank. All right, let's see. She's in the Navy.
In the Navy, where you can sail the 7 seas.
Commander is 3 red, 3 blue, but I'm not seeing anything for just 3 blue. Lieutenant is 4, or lieutenant, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Here's one. Lieutenant.
Okay. Then I would
R1
guess
lieutenant, whatever that is.
then I would guess the guy behind him is a lieutenant junior grade.
You are exactly correct. You are spot on, lieutenant junior
Okay.
grade.
Which
It's almost
fun
like
fact,
you were in the military or something.
hey, those are real ranks.
Don says it's not Starkiller. It's an imperial officer played by Kyle Soller.
Okay.
But it could be Starkiller.
We don't know.
All right, let's keep going. So she is, and we just confirmed, she is lieutenant and then lieutenant junior grade behind her.
Are you a fish? Or are you a thief?
So he's dressing up here. Skarsgard is dressing up as royalty.
Again, I don't know what this is. This is what confuses me the most. Who is this guy really? And or who knows? Maybe we're not seeing him dress up. Maybe this is him from the past before he takes on whatever rebel life he does.
And then maybe when she says later in this trailer, "You're slipping," maybe he's like starting to get a soft spot for the rebellion or something like that, thinking maybe, hey, I don't want to be part of this empire anymore, something along those lines. But if it is a disguise, it makes me think of Mission Impossible, which is what I'm really excited about this show. I hope it's like a spy thriller that gives us lots of information about what happens in the Star Wars universe at this time. You know what's awesome? We started this stream. I was very worried because I told you earlier I had taken like 3 weeks off. So I didn't know what the algorithm was going to do as far as like people watching. And we had like 3 people watching the whole first half hour. But now we have 19 people in here. So everyone, thank you very much for clicking on this video. If you want to help out the channel, you can send me a bunch of money. I'll give you my Venmo. But if you don't want to do that, tap like or dislike, either one.
Yes, and make sure you subscribe also. Hit subscribe.
Yes, and please subscribe to Fandomology.
Yes, thank you.
I'm gonna hold off on doing anything else until I put Fandomology link in the chat, and you guys are gonna have to subscribe.
By the way, we recently passed 400.
Dude, that is awesome.
Yes. It happened, unfortunately, while I was sick, so we couldn't do a proper celebration stream. But trust me, it's going to be late. But, in fact, I'm going to decide right now, Wednesday night at 9, we're having our 400 subscriber celebration stream. And, of course, Coffee, you are invited to be there.
Awesome. Sounds awesome. Everyone, I put Fandomology. I put the link in the chat. So please just click on that. Takes 2 seconds. Click on that, hit subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it if you want to support my channel, support the other contributing channels that I always have on. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's keep going. Whether or not he's dressing up or this is actually him or in a flashback or whatever,
he
looks fancy and comfortable.
I'm not slipping. I've just been hiding for too long.
I love it. That feels prequel-y.
That is a nice ship.
That feels prequel-y. Just look at like the color grading on the side of the buildings. It's like not too defined. It's got like a smooth texture to it. It's very soft in the camera, if you know what I'm talking about. And we got the shipping lanes right here. All the traffic
looks roughly the same shape as the one Obi-Wan and Anakin used to chase Zam Wesell in Attack of the Clones.
I'm sorry, Master. I couldn't find a speeder that I really liked.
You know, if you'd practiced your swordsmanship like you did your wit, you could rival Master Yoda as a swordsman.
Okay. We got a TIE bomber right here, right?
Yes.
What is this ship?
That is something we have never seen.
Is it? We have a hangar bay right here. So is this just like a ship transport, almost like an aircraft carrier, but like not as big as the Star Destroyer?
I know what that is. That's X-Wing's ship. He loaned out his hangar bay for shooting with this show.
Yeah, he let him rent it.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And then what is this ship right here?
That has to be the same ship that we saw landed earlier. Okay,
yep, you're right, because it's got the wings on the side.
Yeah, so that answers my question from earlier.
How does it fly?
Yeah.
All right, that shoots that. The TIE bomber explodes. We got other TIEs here. So we are going to get space battles. That does look
Okay.
like the same kind of speeder. But then again, someone from a different planet might think a Lamborghini and a Corvette look the same. So
Yeah.
you never know. But this is beautiful.
That 100% Coruscant.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I love it. So it gives me all the right feelings, and like the design of the building is like got this like really brutal architecture right here, and these nice gold like sweeping lines. All you can see all the way down to the bottom, but it doesn't look too much like New York City. It
No, it
looks
doesn't.
Coruscant. It's fantastic. It just looks so good.
As long as everyone thinks I'm an irritation, there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
She's scary.
Interest again, Mon Mothma is another sort of question mark I have. I would need to see more to really formulate an opinion of, number one, finding out what they're doing and finding out what I think of it. And hello, Phil, in the chat. You told me that I don't look like Wesley anymore now that I cut my hair. And you're only upset because I chose to go Stormcloaks on my current playthrough of Skyrim.
I don't know what any of that means.
That's
all right. What do we think of Mon Mothma in this trailer?
Like I said, I need to see more to really formulate an opinion.
I like seeing this high society part of Star Wars, with all the aristocrats. I would imagine there was a large bubble of important people surrounding the tippy top of the Empire. So that'd be cool to see some of that infiltration of that with Mon Mothma. She says, like, if people knew what I was really doing, and then he says, what are you really doing?
One thing on that though, I could see a scenario though where they make it super cringe like Canto Bite.
Yeah, but it's not really about like a gambling planet. This is more about like high society people that think they're super important, sitting around and being like, "Oh, what should we do for the benefit of the Empire?"
I know.
Just like in America, there's some people that think they're so important.
Yep.
All right, how's it going, Star Wars Theology? I believe you just hit 1,000 subscribers, so huge congrats to you. That is awesome. Doing some fantastic stuff. There's another channel you guys should go subscribe to. Dropping a like and support. May the Force be with you. May the Force be with you as well. Thank you very much for the like. It does help somewhat. And it's very much appreciated. So thanks for stopping by. The comments also help as well. All right. So hopefully we get some infiltration into the upper levels of the common folk, as far as like non-military people, civilians.
What are you really doing?
Death Troopers, Crying Lady, Droid.
This is what revolution looks like.
Hold on a second. I just had a thought, just randomly about Mon Mothma. So that scene that you mentioned way earlier in the stream about Mon Mothma, Padme, and Bail Organa, that's a deleted scene from Revenge of the Sith.
Yep.
Therefore, not considered canon. But they have that footage. What if they use it in this show?
With Natalie Portman as Padme? That would be awesome. I would be totally down with that. Because there's nothing in it that's bad. It just might not fit perfectly in Revenge of the Sith.
Right.
Like there's nothing in there that's like, oh, they good thing they deleted that.
It just something that might not have flowed well.
Exactly. Yeah, I would definitely be up for that being in the show. And that fits perfectly in line with what the theme of this show seems to be, which is the establishment of the rebellion. So that would fit really well. I would be totally down with that if they added it. What do you think of this droid? I like it. I don't know what it is, but I like it.
Just
it's like a more intelligent gonk droid almost. All right, explosion, lady, ships, shooting. Who's shooting at whom? I don't know. Running.
That admittedly is actually, you know what that reminds me of? That reminds me of the very beginning of GoldenEye.
Mm.
You know the part where James Bond jumps off the dam?
I don't know the movie, but I know the video game. So yes. Yes, he passed in the video game. He goes past the guards and you complete the level by jumping off the dam. So
Yeah.
yes,
I mean,
it looks
that's all
great.
I know too.
This is getting into the spy thriller part of this show that I'm looking forward to. I want it to be a spy thriller set in space and also give us a ton of information about what's going on in the galaxy at this time. Seems like it's going to do that. Who are all those people?
Go back for a second. Go. Keep go. Okay, who are all these guys in white, and why is Andor one of them?
Are they prisoners? Are they escaping prison?
Or perhaps they were part of some form of experiment.
Mm.
Or both.
They're turning them into Wookiees. I don't know. I have no idea.
They're putting chemicals in the water too. You know the rest of the joke.
Chat, wake up. What do you guys think they're doing? Who do you think these people are? Man, we got 17 people here and only 2 people commenting.
To be fair, one of them's just trying to distract me. I call him my pet troll.
Oh, I think Phil is everyone's pet troll.
Yeah.
He's the best kind of troll.
He is.
Phil, we love having you around.
We do for real.
All right, let's see. Explosions.
What's up with this guy?
Mans Kanata?
Yeah. This
is it Maz Kanata, but pre-transition Kanata?
Again, I don't know what to think of this.
Max Kanata. Okay, multiple arms.
Yeah, he had
multiple arms, right? Well, I guess technically I have multiple arms too, so there we go. Maz Kanata did not have 4 arms.
No, she didn't.
Maybe the males of their species have 4 arms.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know. And we don't even know who that kid is laying down. That's a stormtrooper.
Mm-hmm.
That's a stick.
Okay, that shot of him running down that catwalk, for whatever reason, reminded me of that one shot that they didn't use in the movie of Jyn Erso walking down the catwalk at the top of the tower, facing down that TIE fighter.
You know what this also feels like? The Star Wars The Old Republic trailer, the one with the girl and the little elephant toy, and she turns to the dark side, and it's the mother going to defeat all the people, all the bad guys with a lightsaber. It's the mom Jedi or whatever, whoever she was. It was on a bridge just like this at night, I think in the rain as well. So that looks pretty cool if they drew inspiration from that. I wish I had a soul patch like that. This looks cool, whatever it is.
That looks like a troop transport.
Oh, I'm talking about the background, the explosion or whatever is going on.
Yeah, but the craft there, that looks like a troop transport.
Yeah. We got more fighting. This could be like a final battle that we see in the atmosphere of some planet. Andor. And we got a 3-episode premiere, so that is going to be loads of fun. So overall, how are you feeling now that we got into it?
This is going to sound incredibly weird. I am genuinely excited, but at the same time, I hate that I'm excited. Because
I completely understand.
Because pretty much I'm at the point where being excited opens the door for more disappointment.
Mm-hmm. Here's my advice. Don't care. Just don't care about it and see if you have fun. So the way you're feeling right now sounds an awful lot like the way I was feeling going into episode 9, Rise of Skywalker.
Mm-hmm.
I had been burned by the first 2. I didn't like them at all. Didn't really like anything about them. Didn't like any of the characters, any of the plot devices, the story, nothing. So going into this last one, all the trailers are coming out, watching the breakdowns, watching the discussions, seeing the rumors, everything coming out. And I was excited, genuinely excited. I wanted to go see this movie, but I knew it was going to be bad. And so that might be a little bit different from you because you don't know that it's going to be bad, but you're preparing for that just in case. And so the way I went into episode 9 was I didn't care. I didn't put any weight behind how I felt about it, how I was going to come out of the theater feeling. And I walked out of that theater. My wife will tell you, I felt the most conflicted I've ever felt in regards to like watching something. I had such a fun time watching the movie, but I didn't like it at all. That's how I walked out of the theater after episode 9 feeling. It was like, that was fun. I don't like it. It was just a weird feeling. But I think the reason why I didn't get hurt walking out of that theater was because I didn't care. I wish I cared.
Yeah.
So it kind of feels similar to how you're explaining that. But if there's any advice I can give you going into the show is if you're still willing to watch it, don't care. Try to pick out whatever fun you can from it. If nothing else, enjoy the scenery and maybe some information on the establishing of the rebellion. So pick out what you can. And if it doesn't check all your boxes, then you didn't care all that much. You weren't that invested.
Yeah. that might have to be.
Yeah. Well, we'll see.
Yeah.
But at least you're a little bit excited. You're intrigued, we'll call it.
It has my attention. And that's
awesome.
That's the same thing I said though about Kenobi.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really good. But if people are going into it not wanting it to be good or not expecting to enjoy it, like if they already have that kind of an attitude going into it, they're not going to like it. There's nothing, if you're in that position, there's nothing they can put out that you'll like. I feel like a lot of people were the same way about Kenobi. It's like there's a lot of stuff in Kenobi that was amazing. I feel like if people didn't put themselves in the position to enjoy a lot of stuff in Kenobi. But I don't know. Dawn says that it's an imperial prison facility. Laborers are forced to create a certain product and are barefoot in liquid. The quality control is shock. If one person makes a mistake, all suffer. Wow. Ooh. I didn't know that.
No,
I would suggest watching it the same way that you watched Visions. If you're worried that it'll be too hard to see as Star Wars, then pretend it's a super high-end fan film. It's more fun that way. Yeah, that's good. Last question I will pose to the chat as we get ready to wrap up here. What are you excited for most about this show? And if you're not really excited for anything in particular, give me a rating 1 out of 10 of how excited you are for this show. But what aspect of this show are you looking forward to the most? Put that in the chat below. I'll read some of those off, and then we will wrap it up for the night. What were we going to say, Paul?
Whatever would get me through this show, I'm willing to try. But I will say this too. There's no guarantee I'm going to watch this live when it comes out. Because I did say that I was taking a break from all things Star Wars, with the exception of Clone Wars, because Animation Friday. I did say on a stream that I'm taking a break from all things Star Wars, and I don't want to be seen as wishy-washy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's also kind of why I feel really conflicted right now.
Well, there's definitely a difference between watching something passively just to watch it and see what you feel about it. It's the new thing coming out, so I'll check it out and kind of listen in on other people's conversations and kind of know what's going on. There's a difference between that and making videos about said thing. So I don't think you'll violate your oath to your subscribers by watching it. And who knows, it might pique your interest and you might actually want to cover it or join me and talk about it.
Well, here's the thing with that, though. It wasn't an oath to my subscribers. It was an oath to myself. Especially after Kenobi, my biggest thing is I just want to completely detox myself from everything surrounding this.
And I want to clip this and have it as a little soundbite to throw in my show. Count of Monte Cristo?
I do not.
You've not seen? Oh my gosh. You have not seen the Count of Monte Cristo?
All right, I'll add it to the list.
Put it at the top of your list.
Okay.
Put it at the top of your list.
Okay.
It's a legitimately fantastic movie. Anyone in chat, if you've seen the Count of Monte Cristo, let me know. It's one of my favorite movies. It's a great movie. There's a quote in that where he's so bent on getting revenge, and there's something in his life that's pulling him away from that. And the quote is, "Don't rob me of my hate. It's all I have." That reminds me of you're like, it's an oath to myself. I can't enjoy this. Don't rob me of my hate. It's all I have.
I know.
I gotta clip that and put that in.
Okay. By the way, I'm trying to share the screen of the list so you can see me putting it in there.
Oh my gosh.
All right, so
okay, let me see which ones of these I've seen. The Count of Monte Cristo. Yep.
I just realized, speaking of movies, we never sat down and covered Tenet.
Did you see it?
I have seen it.
Oh, okay.
Now it's been a minute, so I need to see it again. Okay. But yeah, we need to talk about that.
Yeah, we will. We'll have a discussion about that. All right. Let me see which one of these I've seen. Count of Monte Cristo, obviously. Big Daddy, I don't know what that is. Casablanca was a while ago. I think I liked it. Sunset Boulevard, I don't know. Seven Samurai, I don't know. Lawrence of Arabia, haven't seen it. Mag 7, seen it, liked it. Rocky, I haven't seen any of them. Interstellar, saw it a while ago, really liked it. 2001, haven't seen it. Willow, I don't know what it is. Teen Wolf, I don't know. Best of the Best, I don't know. Dark Crystal, Over the Top, Rambo, I haven't seen any Rambo. Conan, haven't seen it. Red, War Games, I think I saw War Games and it was okay. Let's see. Back to the Future 2 and 3. I think I saw parts of them. Haven't seen The Godfathers. Let me just go through and see what I have seen. Have seen Pulp Fiction. I love It's a Wonderful Life. That is my third favorite movie. It's a Wonderful Life is an amazing movie. Watch that at Christmas time. It's great. Nightmare Before Christmas is all right. I like Corpse Bride a little better. Haven't seen Braveheart. Planet of the Apes was all right. The old one was interesting. That's about it. My list is gotta be longer than yours. There's a lot I haven't seen. Yeah, that is a good list. All right. Well, we've kind of got all of our thoughts out. Everyone, if you're still here, I greatly appreciate you guys showing up. Again, it's been about 3 weeks since I did a stream, so it's been a little while. I didn't know how the algorithm was going to put this out in front of people's faces. But you guys took the time to click and listen for a little while. And I really do appreciate that. So thank you very much for stopping by. If you want, either like or dislike the stream before you head out, and I would greatly appreciate it, because it really doesn't matter like or dislike. If you really want to do something extra, comment on the video, not the chat. Close the chat and actually comment on the video. That I think helps. And then I think sharing helps a lot too, but I'm not going to ask you guys to do that unless you want to share it to Discord or something. But either way, Paul, last words before we shut it down.
Well, really, all I have to say about Andor is, as I said, it has my attention, but as I said, I'm in a position where I just don't want to get hurt again. That's all it is. But aside from that, I do want to mention, and I've mentioned this before, last year, you and I met up in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and we made some videos together in person. we're going to be doing that again very soon in October. So you guys, for both Coffee on Korriban's channel and my channel, stay tuned for that. We don't know yet what we're going to do. Probably it'll be music related, probably be Star Wars related, but we don't know
We'll do
beyond
something.
that. Yeah.
We will do something. But yeah, looking forward to that. And everyone, please get over to Fandomology's channel if you are not already subscribed. I put it in the chat one more time. Take the 2 seconds to click subscribe on his channel. I would greatly appreciate it. And speaking of appreciating things, all of you guys that clicked on this video to watch tonight, if you've been here from the beginning, I really appreciate your time. May the stash be with you, and I will see you wherever I happen to see you in the galaxy. I'm gonna punch him right in the cloak. I got yeeted. I had to.